Why?
I don't know. I like the way it sounds. Come on, don't let that brother, don't leave a brother hit.
No, don't do it again. You know I don't like repeating myself unless I'm yelling and screaming.
Yeah. All right. So
So,
what's up?
um, my coffee cup is up my head. That's what's up. Are we said, why are you asking me? It's your podcast. Come on, you're supposed to be doing this shit, sweetie.
Yes, I know I am. All right.
Yes.
I'm still tired, man. I woke up about like what, an hour and a half ago.
Me too.
Yeah. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So our Banaka here, and this
And
is Siri.
serious?
How you doing today, Siri?
I'm good.
Yeah. Chilling like a
I'm
villain.
always good. Chilling like a Polish villain.
Oh, good. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So as you can see, I look like shit right now. My beard.
I like my man to look a little bit rough around the edges, sweetie. Are you okay?
Well, it's all good. Oh, am I looking like shit for now? So, all right, what are we here to discuss? We're here to discuss the
Mr.
price.
Stephen Rose's podcast.
Yes, are women too expensive to have as friends?
Yeah, if you pay for him.
Well, let's see. All right, let's check out to see what Steven have to say. I'm not gonna start to the beginning again because we started off this podcast and I accidentally hung up.
Yep.
So let's see. The question is, are women too expensive to have as friend for men?
Mr. Rich Chavales and John Hall, is that, there's been a debate for years on this topic. Can women and men just be friends? Some people say no, but some people say yes, but most people say no. And it's typically from the males, I notice, is that most time when you ask them this question, they say, nah, I can't be friends with a woman. Why would I want to be friends with her? Right? And a lot of that, I think, it stems from the fact that they have not gotten in her pants yet. That they just want to get in her pants, and at least that's what I hear from a lot of the women. And to some extent, the Sexist Man Live and Universe's channel, I can agree with that. But here's how I see it. All right, I think women and men can be friends. I think that they can be friends if they have a mutual agreement or something in common, like sports. I've met some women that are into sports, and we can sit there and talk football, basketball for hours or whatnot.
All right. So, what do you think so far? What's your opinion?
I think that and one of the main reasons why men have trouble being friends with women and women have trouble being friends with men is because of the not being able, not having things to talk about. You know, especially if men don't grow up with female siblings, then they assume women just gossip. Women don't have anything tangible, anything logical to talk about. They don't talk about anything in depth. They're just very shallow. And women who don't grow up with male siblings assume the same thing. Men only talk about sports, men only talk about cars, and men only talk about sex. So a lot of times those who find that they cannot have friends of the opposite sex tend to not have siblings of the opposite sex. That's, obviously I'm generalizing. I'm not like speaking for everyone, but that's the basics of that.
Well, this is the thing, right? To me, I see it this way. What is the purpose of a friend?
Are you asking me a question, or are you telling me what your view is?
Well, I mean, this is my view. What's the purpose of a friendship? Because the reason why men find it like useless to have female friends is because the friendship is never on equal ground.
Mm-hmm.
Female wants to be treated as equal, just more equal.
Yep.
What I mean by this, right? Let's say, for example, if I have female friends, if I'm like stuck somewhere, like I need like, let's say, $1,000, I can count, at least 3 or 4 of my friends, male friends, that I can get that money from. Female
Mm-hmm.
friends, even family members, not so much, because there's always this, and it's not just that, right? Is with Steven, with Steven Rose, he like I'm addressing him right now, is that what he doesn't realize is that the women that he hang out with, the women he call friends, they're actually getting the boyfriend experience. And
Without having to offer the girlfriend experience in return.
without having
It's
offered
interesting that
that
you say this
experience.
because as he was talking and stuff, I was jotting down some notes, and one of the notes I wrote down, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but one of the notes I wrote down is if your female friend expects you to pay all the time, then she is not a friend. She's a user who has found a sucker.
Well, the thing about it though, the usage doesn't always have to do with money. The usage
Yes,
has to
I
do
agree.
with time, because it's like dealing with females is very emotionally taxable.
Taxing, yes.
It's very emotionally taxing, because it's like they want to tell you about their days. They want to tell you about who pissed them off. They want to basically you become that emotional tampon, into which is like,
Well,
what the fuck am I
yes,
here for?
sorry.
No. It's like, what the fuck am I here for? Because it's
Yeah,
like,
most women who have a male friend, they use their male friend as an advice giver. So women tend to go to the man for the advice.
yeah, not just the advice. It's not even, listen, a lot of time they don't care about the advice. They want to just complain about something. And then the
Well,
man,
yeah, but what I'm saying is
no,
that that's the
listen,
form
right?
of advice. If the man is smart,
Yeah,
he's gonna give her advice. If he's not so smart, he's just gonna be like, oh, there,
yeah.
you'll feel
But
better.
the thing,
There, just vent to me.
okay, but the thing about it though, right? Men, we care about results, right?
Yeah.
We care about results, because, and most of the time, the advice that we're given is gonna fall into deaf ears, because she don't care about your advice. She only wanna hear you. She just wanna have you there to actually dump all her frustration upon you in the form of chattering, and then
Well,
gonna
a
go.
lot of times a woman cares about the advice. She just doesn't care
I
about
know.
implementing
It's not caring about the advice. It's not about, like, okay, if I'm talking to my boys, right?
it.
Let's say that he's complaining about something, and I give him an advice, and then he doesn't take it. Now I am literally obliged to treat him like shit now, because he's just being a dickhead. Be like, dude, I fucking told you about this shit, right? But can you do that to a female?
Yeah.
Without You can, but it's like this, right? If you were able to do that to a female, she wouldn't be just your friend. She would actually then be turned on by you and actually start fucking you, because you actually letting it straight. But a lot of these guys who actually fall into the friend category
Right.
don't actually tell these women straight up, like, treat them like, like they would treat their boys. It's like, let's say, for example, if a chick's complaining about her asshole boyfriend and so on and so forth, I would be like, dude, shut the fuck up. Obviously, you're going back to him because you fucking love this shit. You love the assholeness. And me putting it this way would actually, to her, she would then look at me as in like, oh, okay, and would then try to fuck me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
and
All right,
these
hold on.
guys,
Come on, that's enough. Thank you.
right? And
Go
these
for it.
guys that find themselves in the friend position is because they're too nice to these broads, and then they actually giving them this, they cuddle them to the
Yes.
point now these females are feeling
They,
spoiled. They have
I
every
wouldn't call it cuddling. I would call it enabling. It's what you do to a
yes,
person who's got bad habits. You're enabling their bad habits.
yes,
But it's an
exactly.
interesting note that you put in because listening to Steven's podcast, I kept thinking, well, I'm looking at it from a wife perspective. And I'm going to tell you right now, if my husband has a whole bunch of female friends, we have an issue.
Yeah.
Because these female friends aren't just keeping him there just for shits and giggles, just because they have something nice to talk about. Okay, there is an agenda.
Well, the
which
agenda
most men
is
don't
them being.
understand. People have an agenda. Women are by nature users. That's what we do. We use.
Yep.
Okay. We use. By nature, we use. We take advantage of whatever loopholes there are available, and we take advantage of whatever shortcuts are available. That's our job. That's It's not our job, but that's our nature. That's what we do. So,
Listen, I
you know,
already know
so
the
it,
agenda. This is the
so,
agenda, right? This is the agenda. Is that Steven would be classified as a good guy,
mm-hmm.
right? Because based on his mannerism, based on the way he have this fairness about him. He has this I want to treat people with respect and dignity and so on and so forth, right? So those qualities are more like husband material.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's just the plan B. He's the plan B
Yeah,
for the females. So to which when their options start to run thin, and then Steven has been there in the background for so long, now they could jump in and be like,
but
well, when I make it
yeah,
official.
I don't even think they're even thinking that far ahead. I think what they're doing is Stephen is not just their plan B. Stephen is the cock blocker. Okay, Stephen is the one that they call if there is a man trying to get their attention and they don't want his attention. So they're like, "Oh, Stephen, can you come over here?" You know, and then they start hanging. Why do you think most likely they want to take him out to the club?
That's a very
He's the bodyguard. He's the seventh wheel. There's five to six women. He's the seventh wheel. They're hanging out. They're all having a good time, and he's the bodyguard. If I don't want to fuck this dude, Steven's the one that's gonna block him.
oh, oh, I did not see it. All right, so I was looking at things from more of a future perspective, but you have to admit that. Okay, look, what I'm saying by when
Most
he
women don't think that far ahead. Most
yes,
women don't think that
but
far ahead.
listen, just because they don't think that far ahead doesn't mean that the end result doesn't come out that way. Because
Yep.
I'm looking
Yep.
at it from an emotional pattern. They might not even think about what they're doing, but it's still happening.
Yes.
Right? So do you point out what you point out is actually quite perfect because I didn't think about it, which is it makes a lot of sense. And but also here's the thing too though, because it's like the male and female energy, the interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at every at the infancy of every relationship when it comes to male and female, is that the man try to get into the female pants before she gets to know him. And the female try to get to know him before she allows him to get in her pants.
Yeah.
So what usually tend to happen is that a lot of time when we men make the mistakes of actually being too available for those females, so then she no longer have to give anything back because you're giving your time for free.
Yes.
You know? So then it's like I see it as in like female friends are nothing more but time rapists.
Wow.
They're raping your time. It's like these time could be
Okay.
put to
Okay. I
something else.
understand that that's how you view it now, right?
Yeah.
But almost, 10 years later and everything, 15 years later. But how about back in the day when you were single? Did you not have female friends? You did have a couple female friends.
I call them acquaintances. I only had like one, okay, maybe two, one or two female friends, but all the other ones were like,
Yeah, but I suppose that's who he's referring to is the ones that you would call friends, not the ones that you would call acquaintances that you would keep just in case you want to, you ain't getting laid and you want to call them at 3 o'clock in the morning. We are talking about the female friends, right? We are talking about the ones that you would call a friend.
oh, not the booty call ones.
No, not the booty call, and not the ones that could possibly become booty calls, but are just the background numbers just in case. No, none of that. We're talking about the actual female friends.
Dude,
If it wasn't for the sex, you and I would have been considered friends back in the day.
uh, yes, but then again, without the sex, would I be around that long?
Yeah, that's a good question. Would you have?
Not really.
But you stayed friends with somebody else that you didn't have sex with. Why? That's the question, isn't it?
Well, because like I put it this way, right? I guess I can be friends with female that I'm not sexually attracted to.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
and
that's what Stephen is talking about, because he didn't put qualifications as to what is there to consider a friend. Maybe that's that. See, that the same reasoning you just gave is the same reason women give. Well, I can be friends with males as long as I'm not sexually attracted to them.
yeah, but
So
the
what is
thing,
it okay for you to say that, but it's not okay for the female to say
no. But the only difference is I'm not trying to use them. You know, it's like
that? Okay, so what do you gain from that kind of a friendship?
to be honest with you, it's like I said, I don't even though I consider them friends, but they were more like acquaintances, right? Like for example, my coworkers, um, T. I'm not gonna say her name, but let's say
Yeah,
T, right? I
yeah,
kind of consider her as a friend, but I
yeah.
barely talk to her. I treat all my friends like I don't talk to you for like years on end, and then I will see you, and it's all love,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, but that's because you're older now. You used to be much, you have to put yourself in the
Oh,
mindset that
oh,
you had
oh,
back in the day, like
yeah.
like
Okay,
um like Faith. You
but
were really good friends with Faith, and you were around that age that Stephen is in. You
yes,
can't expect
I
Stephen to
think-
have the same mentality as you, and he's like what, 10 years younger than you, I believe. Okay,
yes.
I'm
But
assuming. I
here's the,
apologize
but
if
here's the
I'm
thing,
mistaken.
right? But here's the thing, right? Here's the perfect way I can actually see female friends be useful. Unless she's actually helping you get laid, then you could have that exchange of listening to about her asshole boyfriend
Okay,
or
then I
her
will give you the
coworkers.
exact same reasoning that my cousin gave me why she's friends with ugly dudes. She said she's friends with ugly dudes because ugly dudes have friends that are really hot.
What? Duh.
Okay, so dudes, maybe Steven has the same reasoning. Yeah, I'm friends with this chick. I'm not sexually attracted to this chick, but her best friend is fucking fine, and I'm trying to get at it.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, if he gave that reason, I would understand. But the reason he's given in the video, he sound all noble and shit. Like there is no ulterior motive behind it. It's like, listen, everybody
I've
gets
had
you.
I've had male friends that I had no ulterior. I didn't have any motives or agenda with.
Yeah,
I've
but
had
I
male friends
bet
that I was
you,
just friends with.
yeah, but I bet you he had an ulterior motive. And the motive
I
is
would
like,
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know because he never let it show.
what? Yeah, because he was too
And you
scared
see,
to
that's
show it.
that's the thing. That's the thing I would like to tell to a lot of men who hate being in the friend zone. Are you letting her know that you don't want to be in that zone?
A lot of them are not. You know why? Because it's like
They're
they
scared.
love. No.
There a lot of them, I think, are afraid
No.
of overstepping their boundary.
I'll tell you exactly why. Yes, that is one reason. They don't want to cross their boundaries, and two, they don't want to lose that female companionship because
Well,
to
that's what
them,
I mean.
well, it's like it's this female energy, right? It's like this. Um, you want to feel like you have female energy around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when
Well,
when
just like women like to feel that they have male energy.
yeah. So well, let's say like let's say okay, Steven goes to the club with 6 or 7 of his girlfriends, right? And
5 to 6, I would say.
okay, so let's say that and dudes looking at him like, wow, you the fucking man. But he's miserable. He's miserable. You know why? Because these broads are gonna cock block him whenever he's trying to get with a chick at the club. Because they see him as their
Their
property,
property, yeah.
you know? Because let's put it this way. They have no problem hanging out with him in a public setting at the club or shit like that, right? Couple of them at the time. But would they actually now hang out with him, let's say at his house? Let's say 3 or 4 women hanging out with him at his house. We're friends, right? You know
Well,
what?
I wouldn't say 3 or 4 women, but on a one individual basis, one on one, yeah, probably. They probably hang out a lot.
No, not on one-on-one. Not on one-on-one, because the one-on-one, she will still control the narrative. What I mean by this, okay, they're friends. Steven, if they're your friends, right? Try to invite 2 or 3 of them at a time to your house. Because you're not gonna fuck them. It's not about fucking. It's about like get them together at your house where the odds in your favor. You know what's gonna happen then? Because now they're gonna have to compete for you.
They're gonna compete with each other for his attention.
Exactly. But while you at the club, when there's like so many dudes, they're only using you as this bodyguard.
The bodyguard.
Yeah, as this guy to actually repel the shit niggas they don't want to fuck with. You know? But when you are at your setting, when the odds are in your favor, I guarantee you they're not gonna want to do it. They're gonna come up with any excuse under the sun because let's say that you might like, hey, you know what? I'm having a little bit of barbecue. I'm
yeah, one-on-one it's gonna happen. One-on-one they'll come, but not.
Yes, one-on-one will come.
They might come, but the dynamic would be completely different.
Yes, of course, the dynamic will be different because they will feel like they're a fish out of water. They're not. Steven is taking them out of their element.
They wouldn't feel like fish out of water. They would just try. The girls would try harder to get his attention because he's the only male around.
Exactly. So, therefore, Steven, if you want to test your friends,
it would be a really strange dynamic.
Listen, hold on. All right, so if Steven want to test out the friendship of these girls to find out if they are actually really, friends, try to invite them, let's say 3 or 4 of them at a time to your house. Because let's face it, if you're friends with dudes, you got no problem like 3 or 4 dudes hanging about, right? Chatting the shit, talking about basketball, whatever the case may be. How come when it comes to your female friends, gotta be one-on-one? Try to have 3 or 4 of them at the same time when you happen to be the only dude.
I think what would happen is the girls would each try to up herself, make herself appear better, and put down the other girl to make herself feel a little bit lesser. So the whole bitchiness about whining and moaning about their situation at home or whatever, that would disappear because a woman doesn't want to make herself seem weaker in front of another woman. So she wouldn't be bitching about her man. She wouldn't be bitching about her finances to him. Now when there's another female around.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because then she knows the other female will be like, oh, you ain't got shit, huh?
And that's why. And that
would happen. That would totally happen.
Hanging out with other women because they have to compete. They have to compete. All right. So what? Let's see. Hold on. There are like other parts I want to address in the video. Let's play it up.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna refer back to the comment I left him when I left a comment on his video. I said that I always, whenever I used to go on dates, I would always make sure to pay at least half the fee. Not just for my meal, but we would split it half way, at least, simply because I have this personality that I hate owing people. I really hate owing people. I'd rather people owe me than me owe people, right? That's mainly the reason why I did that. But the other reason is I would never want to have come across a situation where the man felt like he deserved something because he spent money on me, which sadly men do. And I've had a lot of friends who would do that. Who would just go out with dudes. Men assume that as soon as they're paying for someone, then they deserve sex back. That is sad, right? But I can see why it happens. But I still think that's sad.
Okay. But let me ask you something though. Like women who actually feel entitled to men's time, is that sad as well?
Yes. Let me continue.
Okay.
It is sad. And then the other part of my comment. The other part of my comment is usually those women who go on dates with men and expect the men to pay all the time are the same women who will smile, bat their eye, and show their cleavage, just expecting free shit from a man, right? And I've seen it all the time. And so, I would tell my friends not to do that. I would be the logical person in there saying, one day you do that to the wrong person, and he's going to take that as the wrong sign. And he's going to demand more from you than you're willing to give him. And that's when you're going to realize, shit, that I shouldn't be doing this. Because that is taking advantage of a situation. Just because you got tits doesn't mean you should be getting free shit.
But
But then
listen,
again, I was raised differently. You know, if
yeah.
I got tits and I want somebody to fondle them, that's when I start swinging them around. But I'm not gonna start swing. I'm not gonna start whipping them out just because I'm expecting something, because that is wrong.
uh,
It is the same. You know why? Because
okay.
it is the same exact. Okay, a woman whipping her tits out just so she can get free shit is the same mentality of a man saying, I deserve sex because I paid for you." It's the same thing. It comes. It is derived from the same exact mentality.
Yeah. Oh shit. My mom's calling me again. Sorry, mom. I want to call your ass back. So yeah, but check this out, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Like, I cannot expect women not to take advantage of what they got. It's not up to the it's up to the men to actually put a stop to it. Like, for example, I know I'm a charming motherfuckers, right? And when I want to get free shit, I turn that shit on. You know, whether it's a free drink, whether it's extra fries, whether it's whatever the fucking case may be. If I want to do it, I fucking do it. Right? So therefore, it's like it's up to the other
But
person.
you don't have to whip out your dick to do it, do you?
Well, yeah, obviously, but when, you gotta use the tools you
There's
have.
a difference.
No,
See,
no,
you
no, no,
have to actually put effort
no.
in to be charming. A woman with tits doesn't have to put any effort in.
What, they don't? They never have to. I know
But
that.
that's
That's
my point.
But listen though, but it's up to the men to stop being a sucker.
Yeah.
To stop actually, because all right, it's the same way that, okay, these women that I take advantage of, right? Technically, I don't take advantage of them because they're getting something out of the equation. Me being charming, they're actually getting the male interaction or the male energy and stuff like that. So then it's a fair exchange, right?
Yeah.
So whipping out the tits, or if they do, or let's say it's, showing extra cleavage and shit like that, right? Is that little tease. And then so the man feeling like he's getting female attention, the female energy, and then all of a sudden he's just part ways with his shit. Like, here's my money. Here, I'll pay for you. Here, I'll give you a drink. Here, I'll buy you this. Oh, nigga, that's your fault.
Yeah, but the women. What I'm saying is the women cannot assume that that's the only thing a man's gonna do when that situation arises, because, like I said, there is gonna be a man that's gonna misunderstand your signal, whether it's on purpose or by accident, and he's going to force himself upon her. And I'm not talking about necessarily rape, but become forceful in his request.
Yeah, but when
And
that
then
happens,
that's when women want. But that's when women want to turn around and say, "Oh my God, it's sexual assault," and it's like, yeah, but you sent the signals.
yeah, but when that happened, that's when you have motherfuckers like Steven who will come through and save the day.
Yeah.
You know? So that's why men are used as friends, as that guard, that bulldog.
Exactly.
So it's like, I'm gonna show my tits at the club, get some free drinks, and if that nigga's being too pushy, I know Steven, my man Steven right here, gonna come through and be like, hey,
Exactly.
with me.
Exactly.
So, but now the thing is, what is the reward for Steven to actually put up with all that protection?
A female that talks about sports, apparently.
No, they don't.
No, I know. No, some women do. Like, I've known a female mechanic that loved cars, and she would just spend hours talking about cars with dudes. She was hot as hell. So, women are interested in many different things. So there is women that talk about sports. There's women, we like, take you and I, for example. We can talk for hours without actually having sex. I mean, we do, but we can talk for hours without having sex because we have things in common to talk about. So it does exist.
True.
So you can't say, oh, no, he's not getting, he's getting female attention as well.
But the thing about it, though, you had to prove to me you have more to offer than just sex.
Yeah.
Right? So there was an exchange at the beginning,
Yeah, but maybe Steven doesn't need that sexual qualification, let's put it, in order to become friends with the female. Maybe he just, he's comfortable either way.
Hey, maybe he's a better man than me. Because I can do this shit. Because I am not Okay.
Maybe, but when it once he gets married, once he gets serious with a girl, that's gonna have to be there's gonna have to be a stop to that.
Yeah. Well,
Because
because
she's not his wife is not gonna feel comfortable with him running to his female friends with their problems.
not his wife. Or put it this way, right? Having too many female friends is actually a main reason that's actually stopping him from having a relationship.
Possibly, yeah.
You know why though? Because this is what's happening. Say that as soon as he start talking to a chick, right? As soon as he start getting serious, all the so-called girlfriends that actually put him in the friend zone, all of a sudden are showing him extra attention. So now the girl
Not
that
necessarily. They might not show him extra attention. They might just put down the woman that he's interested in a way to make him doubt that she's worthy of his
yes,
attention.
that's one. Put the other female down. That's one. And then two, they would then all of a sudden, that's when Steven might get a little bit more back rub, a little bit of neck massages, or they might even pay for the date whenever they go out. So then it's all about taking that attention away from that potential girlfriend on back onto them, because they know that they're already getting that boyfriend experience, and they know that once another female enter the realm, the Steve realm, then they're gonna lose out on all that benefit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, my
They
friend,
know that Steven is a good guy. They don't want somebody
yeah,
else. They like the arrangement that they have. And they know
yeah,
if somebody gets in between, that arrangement's going to change completely.
yes,
What
exactly. Like,
I would suggest what Steven would have to do with each one of his female friends is do a pros and cons list to see if it's really worth it for him to be friends with that particular woman. What is he getting in return that he's giving her?
yeah, put it this way, right? All right, my friend that
Just
passed.
to make sure it's a mutual friendship and
Listen,
not that it's just a one-sided.
yeah, but check this out, right? All right, my friend that passed away,
Mm-hmm.
like she used to sometimes bitch about her her dating life and shit like that, but I wasn't there to listen to that shit. And then let's say whenever we finally had the chance to hang out, she the one that actually pay. So let's say we go to the restaurant and shit like that. All right, you're gonna be complaining about, okay, you're gonna talk about your
Your
dating life,
friend.
all that shit, your
Yeah.
your your stuff. Guess what? You buying my meal. So it's like very rarely I actually had to pay, you know, because she wanted that male companionship at the time, and she was willing to pay for it.
Well, because she wanted to pretend that she wanted male advice.
Yeah, exactly. I know she wanted to pretend that she wanted male advice. I know she wasn't gonna take any of it. After a while, I stopped giving it. So
It makes people feel better when you get it while
yeah.
you're getting it.
I used to whenever she said like this, I would just look at her with a smile like, really, really, bitch. And then she's like, I know. And then she just kept going on. So basically, we both knew that what the fuck we were here for. It's like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to listen, eat my food as you ramble on about how much your life sucks.
Yeah, but in the beginning, when you guys first became friends, that's not how your dynamic worked.
No, it wasn't.
Exactly. That's just what it became. It
Yeah.
started off with a completely different dynamic.
Yes, but even back then, she still was the one that used to buy me shit. No, actually it was like no, that's not true. It was like a pros and cons. Like, for example, right, say that, because we used to work together, say that I'm
Yeah.
gonna go grab some food, and then she would be like, all right, she would actually be like, all right, well,
I get
can
you
you,
next time, right?
yeah, I get you next time type of shit. And then she always used to. And it's the same thing, like it's the same thing with all of my friends,
Yeah, but
because
Steven said the same thing. You have some sort of an agreement with each other, which I totally agree with that. It's you either split the bill halfway, or it's quid pro quo. One day I pay, the next day you pay type of situation.
yes, but the beauty of it is that I was allowed to be my full-on self,
Well,
asshole-ish.
maybe Steve is allowed to be his full on self too, though.
Hey,
You can't assume and create assumptions simply because that's your perspective. You're
yeah,
just adding on your own interpretation of situations you really
right,
don't know about.
okay. Well, I don't know, man, because I still think like having female friends is too emotionally taxing.
Yes, it is now because you've already got one female bitch on your case about being emotional with her all the time. So in your mind, you're like, God damn it.
Uh,
and if you start having female friends that are emotionally taxing, that original female bitch is gonna be like, ooh, hold on a minute, we got a problem. So obviously the dynamics are completely different, but Stephen doesn't have that. So it's almost like because Stephen doesn't have a girlfriend, he's using his female friends to gain that female energy.
mm,
You know?
yes. All right, but let's see. Let's see what else.
Or in the concerts, we talk about music, whatever. You know. So to answer the question to you two, I think this is what it is. I think women can be good friends, but if they can take advantage of the situation, they'll do it. You know, I used to have long talks about this with my aunt, and she used to tell me, you know, hey, just be careful about women now, because even if they're just your friends or acquaintance or whatever, like if they can leech off of you, they'll do it just like the broke males, like the bum males.
Yeah.
Right?
Pause that for a minute, please.
Even my aunt told me, you know, hey.
I agree with that fully, except for one thing. Your aunt said now. No. It's always been that way. Women have always been that way. Men have always been. It's in our nature to do so. The more you give, the more we want.
Yep.
You know, but that's also that is beneficial to a degree in a relationship where the woman keeps pushing you to reach your, you know, fullest potential, but in the end you never reach it because you can never reach potential. You're just always better than yourself. And this is where the relationship between males and females work, is because a lot of times men, when they're alone, they stagnate. You know, look how many men are so focused on getting laid that they don't improve themselves. Right? Now, I'm generalizing. I'm not speaking about all men. Because if you notice, and you can see this on YouTube with almost all men, okay? This one is almost all men. You're either stagnating because you're busy looking for pussy, or you're progressing because you're looking for better pussy.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay. But when you have a woman by your side, if she's a good woman, then she will want you to be better yourself all the time, which is our nature to want more. We want more from you, but not spoiling us more, which is a bad woman. A bad woman will want you to spoil her more and more and more. But a good woman will want you, okay, you can do that, great. I bet you can do better though. You know, hold on.
Ellen, that what you just talked about.
Sorry, the dog is scratching at the door, but when I opened it for him, he's just staring at me.
All right, listen, right? Here's the thing. The generalization that you're actually providing and stuff like that, I don't fully agree with it, because I mean, maybe I don't understand exactly what you mean by that, because it's
Which
like,
one?
well, you know, women want more out of it because they want you to reach your full potential and stuff like that. Like everything has a selfishness that goes with it, right? Because it's all about self-preservation and self-interest. So yeah, a woman might want you to be better, let's say, or more in a better financial position, because she then elevate her status as well. You know, that's why when you're a motherfucker that's renting, and then versus a motherfucker that owns his own home, you know, the homeowner, it looks more appealing and more of a, you know, more appealing towards a woman. And if a woman actually got with a guy that was just renting, then she's gonna try to push him to be a homeowner, right?
No, does the intention matter as long as the end result is good?
Well, we also have to talk about the attention as well. I mean, yeah, I understand that is the end result that counts.
That's the question. Is it because I specifically stated in the beginning, it's women's nature to want more. When you're in a relationship, this benefits the man in this way. I didn't say what the female intention was. I simply said that if you're in a relationship with a good woman, it can be beneficial to the man. You're no longer striving to be better simply because you want your, you know, pussy pool to become greater, which actually has a counter effect on that. But that's a whole nother topic.
but this is okay. I know we're veering off topic right now, but the thing that actually, men can't seem to handle is because as they actually have that female around, they stop asking things from her. They stop
Yeah.
expecting things from her and shit like that, right? So then therefore that's when it becomes a little bit more one-sided, where the female always want more and more from you, whether it's like, try to, yeah, sometimes the push is good, try to get you to elevate yourself, status, whatever the case may be, right? But as
Mm-hmm.
she just, relaxing, remaining the same, because you as the man, you too busy elevating yourself, you're not actually pushing her along with you, you know so, and it's like, and it's hard to do that. How do you balance that out? And the
Oh,
same thing with the friendship. Let's say, for example, if the female, let's say that she start, she might start off with, okay, every time you go out, she already expect you to pay, right? Then at some point she expect the foot rub, and at some point she expect this, at some point she expect that. But at which point is the man? That's also how sexual harassment starts in the workplace, you know, because it's like she will be like, with the teaser, with the cleavage, and
not
all that
necessarily. Okay, I will stop you right there
shit.
because not necessarily. Yes, some women will misinterpret sexual harassment, but I've had men that come
Mhm.
towards me with unwanted attention, and it was never asked for. It was never expected. It was just, yo, back the fuck up.
Okay,
I
but
don't
all
need a
right,
rub from you. Okay, back off. That's
but
something for your wife.
listen, though, right? So how, okay, how often that should happen? Obviously, you out of 100 weirdos, out of 100 dudes, you're gonna find like at least 20 weirdos, right? Right?
I've
So
had that in every job I've had. I've had a man try to like, this whole concept of a man walking behind you and accidentally rubbing on your ass. It's an accident for about 3 times tops. But when every time he walks behind you, he's accidentally tapping your ass. That's not an accident, and it happens in
okay, but
every job you
listen,
have. And I know
but
men don't like to assume, like, oh no, that doesn't happen. Yes, it fucking does. It does happen.
oh, all right, listen. Okay, I can admit that there are weirdos out there, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And in every job, there's gonna be weirdos. But
Mm-hmm.
now let's talk about the steps that it takes to, in order to actually get to the sexual harassment cases, right? So if we take the weirdos out of the situation, though, these motherfuckers, as soon as you look at him, like, yep, he's a sexual harasser. You could spot the motherfucker a mile away, right?
Not really.
Yes, you can. But we're
No,
not talking
not
about this.
really.
Let's talk about the motherfuckers that actually, let's say that they come to work, and with the can you please do that for me, blah blah blah, right? Start off like this, and then the little bit of, with the little bit of voice, the sweet voice, sweet emotion that
Well,
pulls
this is where I said you're going to come across people that are
in.
going to misunderstand your signal.
Yes, but the thing about it though is like, women knows how to manipulate the same way men knows how to manipulate.
Yeah, but the problem is not a lot of women don't know how to stop it.
Yes, they do. They just don't want to until it
No,
becomes
no, no.
too
What
late.
I mean by that is because they keep getting these results, they're not going to consider that there is going to be consequences to that behavior eventually. So they keep on going,
Yes,
keep on
they
going,
do.
keep on going.
Listen,
And then someone
no,
misunderstands
no, no,
and
no,
they're
I'm
like,
not gonna give
how
you that.
dare you misunderstand that?
I'm not
It's like
gonna
your
give you
charm.
the pass.
It's
I'm
the same thing
not
with
gonna
your
give
charm. Some
you.
people will be like, oh, he's charming. And other people, oh, he's obviously trying to fuck me.
But listen to me though. I'm not gonna give these women a pass. They know
I'm
exactly
not
what
giving
that's gonna lead
anybody a
to.
pass.
No, no, but what I'm saying though is like, they know exactly what that's gonna lead to. But you know what's in their mind? They already justified in their mind. Oh well, if he wants more, that he must be a pig. It's like, you like, a chick would come through work every day with her tits out, right? And then have like a gang of dudes doing shit for her and stuff like that, right? And then as soon as one of them step out of line, she already know that she has, like, the other 80% of the simps that's gonna step up on her behalf. She never have to fight her fucking battles. Why the hell you think when attractive women hit the wall, it's so depressing for them? Because the tits you know, the advantage they used to use with their tits, their body language, and all that shit. When men stop catering for them, now they have to actually get into the mindset of an ugly bitch. What the fuck
Mhm.
does an ugly chick do in order to get men to do shit for them? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to use my brain. And that's fucking depressing for a woman that has been able to use her body her whole fucking life to get her shit.
So,
So my point is this is like they know of the consequences, but they hoping that karma will not catch up to them.
well, yeah, because you know, like I said in the
Mhm.
beginning of this podcast, women don't think that far ahead.
Yes. So then what's happening now? So then they do think that far ahead. And that's why once they start hitting the wall, once they get into position to which now be like, okay, which one of my male friends I'm gonna just grab and
But
settle
they
down
didn't
with.
think, no, they don't think that far ahead. They're not holding on to, no, listen to me. They're not holding on to this dude because 10, 20, 30 years from now, I'm going to need him. 10 years, maybe. 20, 30 years ahead? No, that's not going to happen. They're not thinking that far ahead. However, if he's still there, she's going to look at him and be like, oh, well, he's here.
Uh let's all right. How many chicks do you know would probably like, you know, go back through her fucking high school, like, you know, look for her, you know, the high school friends, you know, the dudes that she used to put on the friend zone back in high school. All right, I'm gonna give you a quick story, right? I used to work
Well, you hold on. You asked me a question. Well, let me answer you that question. None. None
none.
of them. None of them have gone through their high school book and say, hey, let me contact my ex best friend who, none go back to that I know of. I'm not saying the women don't, but none of my friends have gone back there.
All right, check this out.
Probably because they still had options.
All right.
Which is what I'm telling you is they don't think that far ahead. 10 years maybe. Further than that, you're just you're giving them far more credit than is really necessary.
So me actually, you know, looking at women as being tactical is giving them far too much credit.
They're not. No, women are not tactical. Women are not that tactical. They're not.
All right. But check this out, right? When I used to work at the gambling facility and shit. And then that was actually even before I left for England. This there was this chick I used to mess around with. Like, you know, I hate a couple of times, but she just like, you know, always use that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna use sex to control you type of chick. Yeah, so that's who the fuck she
Is
was.
that a chick from your work?
No, not from my work. No, I never mess around with chicks from my work.
Okay.
That was like a chick I used to know from back in the days. And
Okay,
then
that's what I was wondering because you mentioned your workplace.
yeah, but listen, I was at work, and then she showed up. I didn't even fucking remember the broad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she just staring at me, and then afterwards, so I'm you know, so she was with her friends, and
Were
then
we dating by then?
when she came back to my job, yeah, we were.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So as I'm giving her friend, you know, her, you know, she bought like the gambling tickets and shit like that, right? And then she's looking at me. She was like, "I know you." I'm like, you do? Because that's how long it was. I didn't even fucking remember the bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I remember you." And then she was like, and then she just like stick her
Because
tongue.
she probably thought she could still hit it. That's what
Yeah.
that sounded.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you remember me? You remember me? You remember me?" I'm like, "No, not really." She looked
Do
at
you
her,
know how bad that is for a female? Oh, we hate not being remembered.
and then and then her friends looked at her, and then now she's trying extra hard to make me remember her. So by now, I already knew what game she tried to play, so I still played dumb. I'm like, I really don't remember you. Because to me, it was like she had provided me with the perfect revenge of actually making her feel like you that forgettable. I don't even remember who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, she was like, "Well, you know, if you want, you could, you know, holler at me." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." And then like it was like a red pill moment for me But to me, it felt a lot better to actually had the opportunity to actually reject the fuck out of her as she had played me in the past. It's like a chick that you would hit, and then she would just like I was basically the booty call. Whereas like when she's bored and shit like that, she'll probably just hit me up and shit like that.
You're the 3 a.m. call.
Yes, yes. I was used. So I had the chance to exact revenge, and I fucking took that shit. I was happy as hell.
I'm glad you answered that, because I was actually curious what you meant by revenge. Like, why would you have to, seek revenge on someone that you used to mess with?
No, it was that, like for example, let's say that she would, we would be like, I would hit that and be like, all right, we're cool, shit like that, right? And then she would just stunt on me.
Yeah, blank out. Like you wouldn't hear from her for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So then, and that was like back when I was a sucker and shit like that, right? So now when I became like
that's the time. This is where I was going in the beginning, where I was like, you have to see yourself in that position when you're talking, because that's where Steve is at.
Yeah.
So you can't talk about now what you've learned now after being, with somebody for fucking, 15 years and being confident enough to actually realize that there is more value in putting a woman down than actually, getting laid.
Yeah, but
that's a whole nother perspective.
Yes.
You're talking from the perspective you're at now, when he's talking from the perspective you were at back then.
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
That is a fair point. But the thing about it though is like, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now if I didn't learn from my mistakes and all that shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then it's like, I guess some of these things happen to you. Like, women had to take advantage of me several times in order for me to learn some of these natures. Just like I had to take advantage of a few women's, and because it's like, it was always appear as in like, well, I'm getting pussy, you getting dick type of shit. But there was always an attachment that come with it. And I had to find out what I was doing. It's like, oh shit, I don't want to get this female hooked because of my personality. They're looking at me as boyfriend potential, and I don't want to be a boyfriend. Yeah. So then that was me taking advantage of the situation. And then when I become cold and distant, then it was like, it was an asshole move because I didn't want them to get attached type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so,
which makes sense because you wanted to fuck around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess it's like, yeah.
And even if you put the females in the friend zone, which is what you're trying to tell Steven, even if you put the girls in the friend zone, they're going to cock block you from getting yours.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but the funny thing about it though is like, I don't know. I never really had that situation. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
See, this is the thing. It's like listening to all these red-pilled men, MGTOW men, or whatever you want to call yourselves, unless you're an insult, but everybody else, listening to everybody else like putting women down and I ain't gonna do that, or picking on men who are friends with females. You're a sucker, you're a this, you're a that. It's like, okay, listen, you were in that position at one point too. Which is what made you so hateful in the first place, okay?
I'm actually not calling Steven a sucker because I don't think he's a sucker at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though is like, his nature will attract women. Would actually, it's like automatic that women gonna try to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
If he finds in the Polish say, if you have a good heart, you gotta have a hard ass.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with Steven is like, Steven will be the type of dude like every dad would love his daughter to actually have a boyfriend like that. He's the same option. He's
the husband material, but not fuck me right now boyfriend material.
Yes, exactly. That's Steven, right? And there are women out there that's actually looking for this type of guy just to take advantage of him. They might not see it that way.
I know. No, I agree. Just like there is men who are looking for a naive woman because they know they can, fuck around on her and abuse her.
Yes, exactly. And him being like, I understand a couple of female friends, But if you have like more than 5, you are spread too thin, my dude. You know, way too thin because you have way too many female. Oh shit, my light went out. What the fuck? I'm all dark right now.
I can still see you.
Oh yeah.
All you gotta do is smile. And your shirt is white, so you kind of like, you know, it reflects light off of the screen.
With them big ass teeth, huh? So yeah, it's like I understand a couple of female friends at best, but if you have more than 4 or 5 and shit like that, then it's like, yeah,
they require way too much energy of yours.
Yeah, way
And the
too much.
problem, and I agree with you in the sense where the problem with a lot of females is it's not just. Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still there.
It's not just about spending money. And, you know, women are expensive, not just because they require a lot of money, but they require a lot of your attention. So it'll come across where I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen has experienced this scenario where he needs to talk to somebody and none of his female friends are available. But whenever his female friends need to talk, they expect him to drop whatever he's doing just so they can talk to him. And that is expensive attention. That is expensive because it requires your time. So in that sense, yes, women are way too expensive to have as female friends if you have too many, which I agree with you when you say, you know, if you have more than like 4 or 5, you're spread way too thin.
Yeah.
But, you know, at a young age, we all think that the more friends we have, the better we are. And then as we age, we start realizing it's about the quality, not the quantity.
That's true.
So it comes with age. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume the best way to look at it is, are you still going to want to be friends with that person 10 years from now? If so, why?
Yeah, it's like, what does that person have to bring to your table?
That's right. Because you can't just think about what you bring to her table. You have to think about what she brings to your table. Is she motivating you to build yourself up higher? You know, is she helping you? Let's say if you get arrested for God knows whatever reason and you need bail money, is any of them going to bail you the fuck out?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they going to expect you to do that for them, but they can't return the favor? Because if that's how it goes, then they're not really friends. It's a one-sided friendship. And it seems great because you're getting the female attention without having to fuck them. Because sometimes, you know, sex requires a lot of energy and a lot of, you know, time that not a lot of people have nowadays. So
actually, no, sex doesn't require a lot of time. Friendship requires a lot more time than sex.
Well, friendship does require a lot more time, but the thing is, the thing we don't realize is what we're actually craving is the energy of the other person.
Yeah.
So if he's getting all that female energy from all these multiple different angles, many different females, and he's not fucking them, then he's still getting the female attention. He's still getting the female energy. So maybe that is what his mind is justifying as, yeah, I can have female friends. It's okay. It's cool. But the problem is once he settles down with a female, right, whether it's his girlfriend or his wife, which is why these women will begin to cock block him, is because that woman is going to be like, well, now you're getting the female attention from me, so you got to start cutting them bitches off because I don't trust them. I might trust you. I don't trust them. Which, to be honest, I will say this. The woman would be correct to do so because these women, as soon as they see that another woman finds you sexually attractive, they will start seeing you in a whole new light and start acting towards you in a whole different way.
Well, it's the same reason why, you know, females tend to go out for either guys that get a lot of women or guys who are actually already in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, which is the weird fucking shit. I mean, it's not weird. I get it. You know, it's
realizing the women probably, you know, spend so long getting to know this guy that they forget that he's actually a sexual creature. So when they start seeing somebody else dating him and start, you know, fucking him, not seeing that they're fucking, but knowing that they're fucking, it's like, oh shit, he can actually provide with sexual attention. And the thing is, men radiate a different energy when they're dating. Men radiate a completely different energy when they're having sex. They radiate a predator energy. Okay. It's completely different. And, you know, our natural instinct will, hold on, let me let the dogs out. All right, go on. And so what happens is these women's natural responses become, you know, their reproductive system gets triggered, which before it wasn't, because they viewed the man as nothing more than just another one of their girlfriends. So when they start seeing somebody else dating him and start, you know, fucking him, not seeing that they're fucking, but knowing that they're fucking, it's like, oh shit, he can actually provide with sexual attention. And the thing is, men radiate a different energy when they're having sex. They radiate a predator energy.
Well, I mean, I understand the predator, the predator aspect, but not predator in a way that they're actually doing the chasing. As a matter of fact, they
No,
actually
no,
do
no.
less chasing.
No, not that kind of energy, just the energy of an alpha. Like guaranteed, okay, if Steve gets a girlfriend and starts, I don't want to be too in depth, but starts, having a different female energy around him that's a little bit more sexual, his demeanor is going to change.
Well,
It's
yeah.
going to change. And he's even going to start talking differently. He's going to carry himself differently. Men tend to be a lot more confident in their posture changes. And our natural instinct is to react to that.
Hmm.
And that's what we will start reacting to, which is why it seems like those who have more sex get more sex. What is it? The Matthew effect, I believe it's called. Those who have more get more. I think that's what it's called. I don't want to lie, so don't quote me on it. But I believe it is called the Matthew effect or the Matthew phenomenon or something like that. And that's what it happens. But you become the
I
people
just
view you
call
in
it
a completely different light.
I just call it the compound interest.
Yeah, that's how it works. Basically, is how compound interest works.
But it's just it's like, all right, society intrigues me. Human interaction is like,
Oh yeah, I'm a people watcher. I observe
yeah,
people all the time. I like to study people.
human interaction is so freaking like, all right, back in the days, right? It's like, yeah, I used to study women in a way to get in their pants, but now it's like I study people in general, and
Yeah.
like it doesn't take me much. Within like a few seconds, I can already like tell a lot about somebody.
Yeah. Well,
The layers
because
that
yeah.
yeah, okay, you were saying.
No. Go ahead. I was just gonna.
Like like once you take off the maquillage, the layers of that shell they try to portray, and then all that shit is like, and the people, all right, the people that actually the ones who are more confident are the ones that don't really have to hide behind any sort of mask. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they have certain layers. Like for example, I'm quite narcissistic, but I don't show that. I don't portray that. And
Well, no, most narcissists don't. Most psychopaths are really friendly.
so yeah, so like I was telling my friend, right? It's like if I was a criminal, I mean, God forbid, not murder, none of that shit, right? But let's say that I'm breaking into vaults, right?
Uh-huh.
I would be the one that's actually helping the police solve the crime of who the fuck's breaking
Yeah,
into
but the
vault.
police have done studied criminal minds, so they would know that you would be the first one studied.
Oh yeah, of course.
Haven't you watched Criminal Minds?
I will be the criminal mind, motherfucker.
But yeah, it's
Oh.
I like studying human behavior and just people watching in general. When you sit back and you observe how people interact, it
Yeah.
groups. You start realizing we all portray similar patterns.
No, I agree.
There's a few slight variations, but we all portray similar patterns.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Stephen, are women expensive to have as friends? Fuck yes.
Yep.
Not just from a financial.
You need to weigh out the cost of the product you are getting. Is it worth it?
Exactly. Because once you reach a certain age, you start looking at people, are they assets or liabilities?
Mm-hmm. And from the sounds of it, a lot of your female friends are liabilities.
Yeah.
And at a young age, it's okay because you're learning about the other sex, you're learning about other people, so that's all right to have, as long as you just got to make sure to keep in mind that don't let your liabilities put you in a position where you can't pick yourself back up later on
in life. Yep. So I guess that's my advice for you is it's cool to have female friends, yes, but don't put them as a priority put yourself as a priority. Always find shit for you to actually elevate yourself and surround yourself with people that's actually helping you elevate, not people that you constantly have to be a father figure to. Because that shit gets emotion, it becomes an emotional burden. And you don't want to surround yourself with people that constantly need that
So
emotional
you don't
support.
want to be you don't want to become the step ladder that people use to elevate themselves on.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it has to be like a give and take to the point whereas like what are you learning from them?
Mm-hmm.
As far as growth. Are you becoming wiser with just having a conversation with these broads? Or is it just about like, Kardashian talk or things like that, or sports? I mean, yeah.
Is it a symbiotic relationship where both of you guys are gaining something and giving something in return?
Yeah.
Or is it just one-sided where you using a lot of your attention and your energy and she's
Well,
just,
put it
meeting up?
this way, right? Put it this way, right? It's like this. Put yourself in those situations whereas like if you have an emergency, think of 5 people on the top of your head you can call actually and come through right away. Now, out of those 5 people, how many of them are females? There you have your answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All right. Well, anything else you would like to add, babe?
No, I think you did a great job.
All right. Well, this is our Banaka and
And
yeah.
serious.
Oh, wait, say it again. Say it again.
And serious.
Oh,
Oh, stop. You're a mess. Oh, you're so corny.
corny or horny or both?
Apparently both. You're so lucky. I love you.
I love you too. All right. So I'm out of here. Take care, guys. So it's
Bye,
been
everybody.
a podcast. So all right. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, babe.
Bye.